never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
If I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in, I would have done it.
I have 2 words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David and Gretchen will be looking at the reality of the LGBT rights movement, the continuing saga of government intrusion in your personal lives. Did you hear Obama pardoning Hillary while saying he's not going to interfere with the Department of Justice or congressional investigations? And guess what government agency has joined the list of agencies coming after your guns? The Social Security Administration. If you're getting close to retirement, you won't want to miss this one. All that and more on tonight's On Target Radio. So be sure to give us a call at 312-642-5600 or go to Facebook and like our page, On Target Radio, and ask a question there.
And now, from the seething cauldron of personal opinion, it's time for David's Rant of the Week.
Everybody loves a golden retriever. They're the 4th most intelligent of all breeds and rated as number 1 in personality. Golden retrievers are imaginative, mellow, quirky, fun-loving, full of surprises, and enemies of routine. If you want to throw a party of a lifetime, have a golden retriever host it. A couple of hours into the festivities, he'll be the one wearing the lampshade, dancing with some stunningly beautiful nubile young woman who won't mind the slobber and occasional leg hump. Everybody loves a golden retriever. People feed them, give them nice homes to live in, buy them toys, take them hunting and on vacations. Golden retrievers are unfettered by social mores, bereft of concern over frequent faux pas. They are not merely tolerated by the 2-leggers they live with, they are adored and treated as children because everybody loves a golden retriever. Truth be told, I've always wanted to be a golden retriever. Yet to this day, despite my repeated Herculean efforts, not one stunning, beautiful, nubile young woman has been willing to take me in. Along my journey to being the dog I know I was meant to be, I've acquired 1 plush squeak toy, several black eyes, and 3 restraining orders. I'm misunderstood. I'm species dysphoric, and it's my right to identify with the species I'd most like to be, which brings me to the point, yet another big nod to liberal idiocracy, the Chicago public school system. If you want proof Chicago is run by liberals, look no further than the Chicago public school system. CPS recently issued guidelines which permit gender dysphoric students and teachers to use restrooms and locker rooms that correspond to the sex they wish they were, rather than the sex they actually are. Dysphoria, for those of you who got your degree in women's studies or social engineering, means dissatisfied. And by the way, the new guidelines apply to all public schools from elementary through high school. So now, a male 4th grade teacher can accompany one of his 9-year-old female students into the girls' locker room and shower together. And if that's not wacky enough, the rules don't just apply to restrooms and locker rooms, but to overnight school trips as well. Now, boys who wish they were girls will be able to stay in rooms with girls and vice versa. Good Lord, I've been saying for years I wish I could go back to high school and do it over, knowing then what I know now. This lends a whole new meaning to that idea. But what could possibly go wrong with that? Well, in Texas recently, a teenage boy in the stall next to a girl changing her clothes was caught peeping over the top of the wall divider and videoing her getting undressed. But CPS doesn't stop there. They're having taken lunacy to a higher level art form. This also applies to gender non-binary students who don't identify with either male or female, and to questioning students who aren't yet sure which sex they would like to be. In other words, both students and faculty can sashay into any restroom, locker room, or hotel room based solely on their desire du jour. As an aside, why is it the Almond Joy commercial keeps playing over and over in my head? Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. The coup de grace to sanity is delivered by CPS in the form of guidelines requiring faculty and staff to use opposite-sex pronouns when referring to gender dysphoric students. I'm reminded of Monty Python's The Life of Brian. Michael Palin tells the members of his group he wants to be a woman, to be called Loretta, and he wants to have babies. John Cleese, in his usual deadpan style, tells him he can't do it because he doesn't have a womb, to which Palin pouts, "You're oppressing me." At that point, Eric Idle suggests Palin's struggle is symbolic of the group's fight against oppression, to which Cleese retorts, it's symbolic of his fight against reality. I don't care what you wish you were. You are what you are. It's not a matter of gender change, it's a matter of psychological counseling. But if it could be so, then I want to be a golden retriever. If I were, I could make the most wonderful political statements. A golden retriever could go pee on the front door of every latte-drinking, sushi-eating, Volvo-driving, New York Times-reading, body-piercing, Hollywood-loving, left-wing freakazoid liberal CPS board member. And it would be okay, because everybody loves a golden retriever. And that, Gretchen, is my rant for the night.
Monty Python was definitely ahead of their time.
When you think how long ago that was,
Oh, yeah.
they really were.
I was itty-bitty.
They had this stuff pegged a long time ago. You're listening on Target Radio. It's AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. What do you think about this? I make fun of this, but this is true. This is actually what Chicago Public School System came out with just recently. Literally, and this is, faculty members in, public schools typically use the same restrooms that the students do.
Often do.
Yeah. And so because this law, I don't know if it's a law, maybe it's an ordinance.
Rule.
It's probably, yeah. But
it's just a rule.
Whatever it is, because of this, literally a male teacher can go into the same bathroom or locker room with a 9-year-old girl.
Right.
I mean, what are these people thinking?
Right. Either little girls or middle school age girls or high school girls. I mean,
right.
It's beyond the beyond. I mean, I don't understand how anybody thinks like this makes sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't make any sense.
And here's the thing. I marked up this article. I mean, I got tons of stuff. We could do this for the next three hours.
Yeah.
But literally, they're talking about inclusivity, okay? And what they talk about is they want to be inclusive. They don't want people to feel like they don't belong. What about all the people that don't want to go to the bathroom with somebody of the opposite sex?
Right, yeah. I have to give props to Lori Higgins of IFI, Illinois Family Institute, because she wrote this article, and it's really well done. She says the truth is it's not about the feelings of students about their sex that make girls and boys not want opposite-sex students in their restrooms, etc. It's the actual sex of the students that makes them not want them there. And she says, what possible difference does it make to girls if the boy in their restroom, shower, or hotel room wants to be a boy or not?
Exactly. If you had a daughter going on a field trip.
Oh, yeah.
And, who are you going with? Oh, well, we're going with Bob. Oh, really? Where are you going to be at? We're at this hotel. Oh, great. Wait a minute.
Right.
What? How is that going to work? Oh, well, we're staying in the same room. Oh, really? With Bob?
Yeah. Well, Bob dresses like a woman.
Yeah, he wants to be a girl. No. I'll tell you what. I would go along with this on one condition. You want to be a girl? Get out the scissors. Okay? I can say that, right? Get out the scissors. If you commit, okay, I can live with that. I think it's a little weird, but okay. But none of this, today I feel like a girl.
Right.
Yeah. That's
yeah, the whole dysphoria thing is additionally disturbing. But yeah, I think that having adults of the wrong gender in the restroom with children is a very, very bad idea.
And here's the quote, because I love this quote. The American Civil Liberties Union, along with the LGBT advocacy Lambda Legal, filed a lawsuit arguing that the law sends a purposeful message that LGBT people are second-class citizens, listen to this now, who are undeserving of the privacy, respect, and protections afforded to others in the state by taking them away from everybody else in the state.
Right. Yeah. We bend over backwards for a tiny percentage of the population. But what that ACLU was referring to the North Carolina law.
Right. Yeah.
So
but
similar
I'm just saying,
issue, but not
right.
the exact.
It's still,
the
it's
ACLU
talking
is,
about that stuff.
to my knowledge, has not yet commented on the CPS thing.
Now they're probably out trying to ban guns. I don't know.
Of course they are.
Now, I mean, I don't know how you deal with this.
I mean, you just have to fight. I mean, North Carolina's fighting it, and
you see what
they're threatening. The government is the Justice Department, and ergo the U.S. government is threatening to take away all of their federal funding,
which is over $1 billion.
Sizable.
And,
yeah, it's sizable.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it's their lieutenant governor said there's a number of things that we're going to pursue.
Well, this is what happens when you take money from the feds. We're going to be back with more on Target Radio after a few messages. This will probably carry on a little bit. We got Mike from Union Grove on. But we'll be back with that and more on Target Radio when we return. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the North States Steel Traffic Center.
Oh, I got to do, I'm doing the rejoiner. Okay, I'll do the rejoiner and then you can, unless you want to do the rejoiner, and then, no, it's dumb because then you're doing two things in a row. Yeah, I'll do it and you can then do your. Did you like my rant?
I did.
I like it. Yeah.
Are you guys actually listening to the traffic report that's on right now?
Let me think.
Some sort of big accident closing 290 between Higgins and Biesterfield, so you may want to take Arlington Heights to Biesterfield.
Really?
I'm going to check on it before we leave, but we all go that same way. So.
Wow.
Actually, you know what? As I was pulling in,
you cut that guy off and he crashed.
No. I heard sirens. I saw.
Really?
Yeah, I saw lights. I didn't know where they were coming from. It was in the distance, but yeah.
I had no idea.
Larry, the guy who always private messages us, he says people should just look down into their pants.
And there you go. See how simple that is?
It's a one-step
boy!
process. Boom.
Yeah.
That's the door I go in.
Exactly. Yeah.
People should just look down into their pants.
I just thought of a joke. I don't know if it's a funny joke, but I just thought of a joke. I'd be like, I can't imagine how confusing it must be for Scottish people who come to live in America. They don't, because the picture is a woman
right.
is a dress.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, you know.
That's where it all started.
There was a guy who used to make the rounds of talk shows who wore a skirt. And did you ever see him? And his point was, he was, men should be able to wear, I don't know why, men should be able to wear skirts. And he used to make the rounds of the talk shows. He was dead serious. I mean, he was trying to promote it. Obviously, didn't catch on.
I haven't seen that particular guy, but I have seen a few guys, like, on little videos and different things who... They like to wear skirts, and they're, they're not necessarily proselytizing, but they're just saying, hey.
What genre they use, do you think?
The men's.
Maybe.
They're just free ballers, that's all. Don't hate the free ballers.
There is a Scotsman. It doesn't look like a skirt. It's a kilt. I mean, you can tell it's not a skirt.
It's a skirt.
Okay, fine. But
it doesn't look any different to me.
Well, it does. It's got a big sword and shit hanging from it.
Okay, well, there's that, but
a dirk. Actually, it's a dirk.
Take away the accessories. It's a skirt.
Yeah. And come to think about it, the dirk is right here. Which, now that I think about it, they have like a purse,
very
right?
symbolic.
Right.
Yeah, there's like a thing right
and
there.
And then, yeah. I never thought about that at this moment. That is not a good place to put a knife. A big ass knife.
Oh no, you don't think it's symbolic? I think it's symbolic.
It may be, but not my symbol, that's for sure. Union Grove, Wisconsin. We're just reaching out there. Fight in North Carolina over gender bathroom law is ridiculous. Well, we agree with that. And we got somebody on yellow. We have no idea what that is. Probably hate mail.
A kit. There's no need for a family to feud over what to include in your kit. Get the answers at ready.illinois.gov.
Sponsored by the Illinois Emergency Management Agency, aired in cooperation with the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And this segment is brought to you by the Will County Grassroots Division of the Illinois State Rifle Association. Join like-minded friends supporting the right to keep and bear arms in Illinois at 7 p.m. on the third Wednesday of the month at the Silver Dollar Restaurant in Elwood, Illinois. You can buy us dinner. We always go.
Oh, so I just want to put in a
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I just want to put in a plug for, I posted earlier today, this morning actually, I posted a little game I'd like to play called Donald Trump Mad Libs. And so if you'd like to play along, all you need to do is go on Facebook and give us a noun and an adjective. That's all we need, a noun and an adjective. And then once I get at least 3, I don't want to do it with less than 3. But once I get at least 3 responses, we'll say them on the air.
You're making fun of our next president.
Maybe.
I bet Mike doesn't make fun of our next president. Mike from Union Grove, Wisconsin. Now, welcome to the show. You have an observation about North Carolina. Or not.
His rally March 11th at the UA. I'm from Illinois originally. I went to the UA Pavilion, and it was disrupted, and, well, good thing they called it off. I mean, God only knows what would have happened if he took the stage. But no, what I was going to say is, when a person is born a certain gender, that is their gender for life, period, not what they identify as. By the federal government forcing North Carolina to, rescind this bathroom law, or bathroom bill, whatever you call it, the Caitlyn Jenners of the world say they identify as whatever, when in fact the Caitlyn Jenners of the world are being dishonest with themselves and the rest of the world, just plain being dishonest. Now the government is telling us we must recognize and accept and respect that dishonesty.
Well, look, you know what, Mike? This president is doing everything he can to run this country into the ground. This is all very intentional. None of this is out of the blue. I mean, you look at it from day one, systematically, he's been playing these kind of games. He intends to leave this country in a worse condition than he found it, and that's it. And for a long time, liberals argued, "Oh, you're just you believe in conspiracies." You know what? Everything has come true. Yeah. Actually, worse.
Oh yeah.
Than we thought 7 years ago.
Much worse than anyone predicted.
He's done stuff that nobody imagined.
And not only that, but a lot of times it's smoke and mirrors. A lot of times it's look over here because they're doing something else over here.
Something they don't want you to see over there.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. What? Ben what?
They're dishonest.
Who was Ben who? What was his? What?
They are dishonest, distracting. Hillary, also known as Hillary, top of the list.
Well,
how dishonest? Yeah.
We refer to Hillary as the Hildebeest. All right. Well, thanks for calling, Mike. I appreciate it. We got Sharon on from Itasca, who's fired up. Now, the question here, Sharon, is you're fired up about gender bathroom issues. You can't wait, or what?
I'll tell you what I'm upset about, too. Number one, the federal government to hold the people's money hostage, they're going to do the wrong thing, and we're going to turn French revolutionaries on them in the streets. When you mess with people's kids, that does it. If you have a tolerance a mile wide and 10 miles deep for liberal nonsense, you could take a lot. Mess with their kids, it vanishes in a puff of smoke. Plus, with this whole thing right now, we don't know who we are. We are losing our identity as a people. We've got to remember what the founders wanted here. But what angers me, I have no children, but I have friends with children. Their kids are moving out of Illinois, period. They're going to college out of Illinois. They're taking employment in those same states where there's an active and more vibrant economy, where hopefully their future employer might even want to hire them and therefore help pay for their tuition. They're far more mature because of what they've had to face. Just like my parents, the greatest generation, had to face down depression and everything else in World War II. But here's the thing, this gender stuff, as I told your call screener, you could ask them what the initials meant that I said, because I won't say one of the words on the air. I will shop at Goodwill, and they have individual dressing rooms. I understand that. You're not going to be able to get, let's say, a dental mirror underneath where people aren't going to notice if someone's getting voyeuristic on you next door. But when you allow children in with adults, in a bathroom, whether it's public or school or private, we've had nothing but problems here. And like your partner Gretchen said, they're doing this as a distraction. When the president walks his eldest daughter, Malia, off the plane or wherever they were, she's going to Harvard, all of the people who look like him in color have been denied in Washington, in the District of Columbia, from choosing the school they want to send their kids to.
All right. Well, Sharon, we thank you for the call. We got to move on, but I mean, we agree with that. Basically, it's
absolutely
it's out of control.
And a lot of what she's been saying is the exact same thing Mark Vatnick's been saying in the General Assembly. You know, he's a neighbor of ours, and he's been saying, listen, this has ramifications down the road because our kids are leaving.
The serious issue boils down to you should never be lulled into taking handouts from the government. The schools now have built their entire economy around federal dollars.
Right.
They are crippled if you take the money away. That was a big mistake from day one. They should never have taken the money. They should just said, go pound sand. We don't want it.
On a slightly lower level, we're having the same problem in Will County. We didn't get the money for our health department that the state promised us that we expected to get. We had to lay off like 50-some people.
Yeah.
And people are mad at us, and it's simply not our fault.
I agree. I understand. We got Tony on the line. Tony has an interesting observation. I assume, Tony, are you talking about the Hildebeest?
Oh, no. It was
Rachel Dolezal.
Rachel Dolezal, that's right.
Oh, yes.
For those of you who don't remember, Rachel Dolezal is a white woman who basically said she was black.
Yeah, she passed for a long time.
Yes, and the thing is that the liberals were furious with her. How dare you do that? Yet, I'm supposed to believe that a guy who still has a penis feels like a woman? I mean, liberals are just so crazy and so hypocritical. And I'll say what I said last week, and that is, why aren't conservatives fighting back? Why doesn't North Carolina tell the government to go pound sand, tell the corporations to go pound sand? They're not leaving, because they make money there. They're not leaving.
I'll tell you what, if she would have said, I'm a black male and I want to go to a men's restroom, they probably would have accepted that.
Yeah, that would have been acceptable, and I'll also say what I said last week. Where are the attorneys on our side? Like your buddy Ed. Where are our attorneys? Why aren't they fighting back against this silliness?
Well, actually, Ed's fly fishing in Wisconsin at the moment. But
okay.
But no, you're right, Tony. And the previous caller made a really valid point. At some point, there are far more Americans who don't like this than there are who do. It's just that it's that old silent majority thing. People just take the lumps and they keep on going to work every day. This is coming to a head. The problem that I'm concerned about is that may be exactly what the plan is, to get people out in the street kicking each other and then declaring martial law or something. I don't know how it's going to play out, but it is what it is. Did you see this thing where, and this on the surface sounds like, well, okay, it makes sense, about the cafeteria, the school cafeteria that's putting a biometric device in where they scan your thumbprint, and instead of carrying like a card or something to buy lunch. Mm-hmm. Now, on the surface, you go, well, that's more efficient. Sure. You don't, if you lose the card, you're up the creek, blah, blah, blah. So it makes sense. But you think about this for a minute. Mm-hmm. Does the government not get enough information on people? Now they're inoculating young kids to say, oh, well, this is natural. This is what we do. The government does that. That scares me.
Right. Yeah. There was an expert. I think it was actually a child psychologist who was saying that so much is available and so much is accessible online about us, and there's all this information that floats around. To begin to include in this one's biometrics, it really does raise some legitimate concerns. I take it back. It was somebody from the ACLU. I can't believe we agree with somebody from the ACLU.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I read it. and some schools have facial recognition cameras.
Right. Yeah, I saw they were tracking the kids around campus. I'm like, ah!
Now, the thing that tweaked me about this is if there was a database sitting in that computer right there on that counter, that was it. Okay. But then you read a little further into this and it goes, well, as a parent, you can go online and you can get all the records and find out what they had for lunch and where they were. That means it's in a database that's accessible.
Sure. It's hooked up to the internet.
Right. That means anybody. Right. You want to find a kid that eats peanut butter, you can find him. I mean, whatever you want to do.
The other thing that's a little disturbing about it is none of the parents have complained.
That's another issue, because they've become inured to the very concept that there's a problem.
Everybody's numb to it, yeah.
It is absolutely out of this realm. I love the music when it comes up and my eyeballs bulge out.
Right.
It's really kind of cool. We're going to be back with more on Target when we return, and I can read this. It's good. We're going to talk a little bit about Obama has de facto pardoned Hillary. We're going to talk about that when we come back with more On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer. I don't know. We're getting lots of booms.
Okay, I'm surprised. We have to talk about this. I think we need to say this is literally the red meat issues that are
Yeah, that's right. We will. Let's do it. Okay, so when we come back, you're doing shranks, right? Okay.
Sorry, I'm spending way too much time dealing with your callers.
Well, it's good. I like callers.
I'm gonna go get some water. Anybody else?
Oh, I would take a little bit.
Well, this is our 5-minute.
Yeah. So we apparently hit a nerve spot. Phones keep lighting up.
Yes.
We want to have the strongest candidate against.
You had that pretty good.
Patriot Dawn from Harvard is on.
I love the way Brady speaks. We beat Trump by a larger margin than does Clinton.
Yeah.
It's a total
odd duck.
You know what? Here's the thing. Bernie Sanders, the key to this is his delusion. So Bernie Sanders, and this is I'm complimenting him. Okay. Trust me. Bernie Sanders may just be the most honest guy to run for president in 60 years.
Well, I think he says what he honestly believes.
Yes.
I don't think there's any bullshit.
I think he believes every
I do. I know.
bit
I
of
agree
it,
with that.
And I think he stands for everything he stands for, and there's nothing fake.
He's a fucking socialist.
He's out of his mind, and he can't do math. But aside from that,
no, I agree. I do think he really feels what he's saying.
Like I think Bernie Sanders would make an excellent head if he wasn't such a big government. Because I think some of that ideology might stand in the way. He would make an excellent auditor in general.
He wants to tax 90%.
Yeah, of certain groups. Yeah.
Yeah, 90%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, ain't it?
The only problem with taxing 90% is how do you raise taxes?
The government share, and the government gets to keep your share.
Yeah.
Hope you weren't planning on hiring anybody.
It's he's a nut job, and all these kids are going. We'll get a free college education. Wait, it's not free.
Because that's as far as they've gotten with it.
Yeah.
That's as far as the logic train. The logic train stopped and ran out of fuel.
That's right.
They're out trying to cut down trees and fill the boiler, and the thing is just sitting there.
Who is Cadet Ward?
I have no idea. I think this lady thinks she's calling a different station. It's awesome.
Can someone Google
But it says, speaking out, we need to take back the U.S.
No, she was on the topic, but I don't know who Cadet Ward is. So
was that somebody that was quoted in one of
these? Or maybe Babette Ward or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, she was all about it. And
that's not
anybody who calls up here and tells me her name is Patriot Dawn and speaks with the fervor of 10 Sean Hannitys,
you're on.
She can go on my airwaves.
You're on. You got it, honey. You're on. Okay, well that was fun. Yeah, you're right. We got to do red meat before, because it is, in fact, red meat.
It's literally the red meat issues that affect your life.
Yeah.
I don't see anything about Cadet Ward that's recent.
You know what's funny, Dave? You get that call from John. $10 says he doesn't call your show for about a month and a half.
Really?
We'll see.
I'll bet he starts calling his house and not calling the show.
What?
Because every time he calls the show, his first thing is, I'd like to set up, before I go on tonight, I want to set up with these guys to be a regular guest. And
did he tell you that?
He's told me that every time he calls.
Well, he called
and he wants to know who he can talk to about becoming a guest on other shows on AM560. I was like, dude, call them. I've given him the front desk number a dozen times. I was like, call them and ask for Jeff Reisman.
Give him Jeff's cell phone
I
number.
I usually tell him to ask for Marcus. And that's simply because me and Eric laugh our asses off.
You're doing shranks. So you're going to bring back shranks.
I can't believe nobody wants to play Mad Libs. Maybe you all should.
I think Trump is becoming popular.
No.
Yeah. I think he is.
You don't know Mad Libs?
I've heard of it.
I don't. Okay. Yeah, I don't know enough about it.
Okay, well,
you give an adjective.
Maybe that's the problem. Okay,
you have 38 seconds.
So it's a book that you used to buy. Kids would do it on the cartridge.
Oh, where you
And
replace
it says-
noun, adverb.
Yeah, it says.
Oh yeah, we used to make all kinds of
fill in a
dirty
noun,
shit.
Fill in
with
an
that.
adjective. Blah blah. So the Mad Lib is.
Jane got nailed in the dump truck.
Right, exactly. The Mad Lib is noun is gonna be so adjective you're not even gonna believe it.
I gotcha.
Because Trump says that about everything.
What do we got?
Really crazy, insanely
20
epic, great
seconds.
edgy.
Claims payability of the insurance company represented. Securities offer through Pro Equities Inc., a registered broker-dealer and member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Harvest Investment Services LLC, a registered investment advisor. Kubota and Associates and Harvest Investment Services LLC are independent of Pro Equities Inc.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
Over a half-century ago, a respected firearms store opened. It started as a hobby for Mike Schrank and has now served generations of customers. Schrank's Smoke and Gun retains a family atmosphere and now carries the largest selection of new, used, and consignment firearms in Lake County. From pistols, rifles, and shotguns to hard-to-find calibers, collectibles, and older functioning hunting rifles. You'll also find full gunsmith services from simple detail cleaning to complete rebuilds. Whether you're thinking about your first firearm in a FOID card or looking to add to your collection, visit Schrank's Smoke and Gun. If you have a firearm to sell, their recent sale was so successful they need your firearms. If you love cigars, you'll find your favorites in Schrank's humidors, along with a broad selection of pipes and tobacco. Visit smoke, the letter N, gun.org or call 847-662-4034. Schrank's Smoke and Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964. That's 847-662-4034.
And now the moment we have all been waiting for years. We are actually going to talk about a red meat issue, right?
This is literally the red meat issue that affects your life.
There you go.
So the climate change zealots, it started in Denmark, but it's coming to America. They want us to stop raising beef. They want us to stop eating beef because cattle make too much methane.
Exactly. That was polite.
Very scientific.
So here's it's hard to get wackier than some people, and this is just classic. So first they're going to tax it, and then they're going to outlaw.
Eventually. Well, and first they want to tax red meat, and then they're going to go on to all meat.
Yeah. So they say climate change is an ethical problem. I thought it was like a climate problem, which I don't think it is anyway.
Science problem, but yeah, it's really not.
Yeah. So they literally, this group, unelected, they have a report called Global Biodiversity. And they literally say this is not sustainable, meaning it's going to go, according to them. Not sustainable. Cattle, dams, roads, golf courses, all kinds of things like that, okay? Sure. Any byproduct that's used in everything from tires to soap, shampoo, makeup, leather, technology projects, because, as you said, cattle emit methane. They scrape the earth with their hooves, require fencing and cleared pasture land, and trudge through rivers and streams. What they do want to keep are wolves.
Yes.
Wolves are good, because wolves slaughter everything that comes into view.
Wolves minimize hooved animals.
Needless to say, this does not go over with ranchers very well.
Yeah.
They're attacking rural America. They're trying to move. What they're literally trying to do is put rural America out of business.
Sure.
So they're forced to go into the cities, where now you have basically ghettos.
They're easier to control.
Of course. By the year 2020, they want half the number of traffic accidents. You know how they're going to do that? They're going to tax you by mile to the point as you can't afford a car,
sure.
and you're forced to take public transportation. These people are nuts. They're literally, they're nuts.
They are. There's a woman quoted in this article who's a rancher in California, and she says basically anything that serves human needs they're calling unsustainable.
And we'll end this little bit with this. This goes so bizarre that they are now saying, this is the UN, that they want to tax rainwater. If rain hits your roof and runs off, it's part of the ecosystem and it needs to be taxed.
Well, the waters of the U.S., I mean, at the Will County level, we're fighting this tooth and nail because they want to redefine what is the waters of the United States, because anything that's defined as the waters of the United States, they can control it. They can say, okay, you have to drain this here, you have to retain this here,
Comes out of the Corps of Engineers.
Right, exactly. They have control, and they can fine you and all these things if you have, water puddling up on your property.
Yeah. Before we take the break, and when we come back, we've got Dawn on. We'll get to Dawn after the next break. But the other thing that I came across is this thing about a judge takes a mother's kid away from her.
Yes.
Because she's one of these people who thinks the contrails that you see in the sky are part of a geoengineering thing that the government did. Now, people are going, well, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Government never do it. Have you ever heard Tuskegee?
Right.
Okay. What do you mean the government would never do it? The government has done it.
Right.
The government's done it on numerous occasions.
Right. And as we know, many things that started out as sci-fi movies, like Manchurian Candidate, not so much sci-fi.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the bigger thing is, what the government is saying is you can't believe what you believe. Your thoughts are now open game.
Not allowed.
That's way beyond the pale.
Well, and this isn't the first time it's happened. That family that was living off the grid, they had 10 kids, and their kids were temporarily taken away from them for no other reason other than that's their lifestyle.
They were drinking rainwater and doing all that. They weren't mainstream, so they took the kids away from them. All right, we're going to come back with more after this break. We're going to try and get back to the Hildebeest being essentially pardoned, and we're going to try and get Dawn in too. So we'll be back with more on Target Radio after this, and you're listening to AM560 The Answer. George, we're going for 2 hours.
Dave, I'll give you one better than Tuskegee. Laotian cloud seeding. The CIA and Air Force regularly tried to increase rainfall across the Ho Chi Minh Trail by cloud seeding all over Laos. They still do, actually.
Why do they do it now?
To increase rainfall in drought-stricken areas. They found other work.
Right. Well, yeah, that's pretty well known.
There are companies that specifically do that in Africa.
There's companies that do that here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
the whole contrail thing too. Just sort of.
Well, I was less concerned about the rain and more concerned about the Agent Orange.
It's negative 30 degrees. There's condensation. Fuel being burned. You don't think it's contrails when you see the shit coming out of your exhaust pipe.
Yeah. Guys would come into the aid station covered with this chemical, and the government would say, "It won't hurt you. It's Agent Orange."
Yeah.
Okay. But yet they'd spray an area, and the next day it was black.
Yeah.
Everything was black.
All the plants were
dead.
Yeah.
At 20 years old, we were not. You didn't question the government.
We weren't Mensa scholars, but still.
Yeah. Back in those days, you still believed that. Oh, my country would never hurt me. I don't know how many people I know my age, or friends of mine, who have leukemia and all these different diseases.
My buddy Troy's dad died because they.
Who did?
My buddy Troy's dad.
Yeah. It's Paul Copus' identical twin brother.
Handler.
His all kinds of scripts.
He was a ground handler. He was an ordnance tech. He was a ground handler at Agent Orange.
He probably stepped in front of the radar once too many times.
Going from drums into canisters.
Yeah, there was a guy in my church who was like the most conservative teetotaler you've ever met, and he ended up with like cirrhosis of the liver.
Yeah.
And there were some people in my church who encouraged him to seek veterans benefits for Agent Orange, and he didn't do it. He didn't.
I tried. Yeah. Turns out I got the wrong leukemia.
How can you go, dumbass?
How can you get cancer and get the wrong
moment?
Yeah, really. Cool.
You can't even get cancer right.
I know, really. What is your problem?
30 seconds.
Okay. We're gonna do. Can you hear me? We're gonna do Dawn short. Was she a talker?
I don't think
so little time, so much to cover in 1 hour. That's right, Tom. Having to settle people's tummies with last word humor.
And the ever-so-popular Mind Trap, popular with the Kremlin and VP.
Not to mention politically incorrect commentary.
And fascinating and controversial guests.
So join us at midnight Sunday on The Last Word.
The fastest hour of radio on the dial.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
I just want to catch up. We got a little behind on this and we want to get to Dawn here in a minute. But did you happen to catch the news thing with Obama talking about Hillary? He was
no,
with Chris Wallace.
I just saw the article.
You can get it on the internet. It's available. So Obama's being interviewed by Chris Wallace, and Chris Wallace asked him point blank about the Hillary deal. Okay, are you going to talk to Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General? Are you going to? No, absolutely not. And he says this over and over. I'm not. We never interfere. Nothing. This is what he says about Hillary. He says she did not jeopardize America's national security secrets. Politics will not influence the outcome of the massive FBI investigation and his Justice Department's decision about possible prosecution. She was careless in terms of managing her emails. The scandal needs to be put in perspective because Hillary served her country and did an outstanding job, and she would never intentionally put America in any kind of jeopardy. What's the difference? Why didn't you just call Loretta Lynch up and go, you're not going to prosecute her? He just pled the case.
Right. He basically told her on Fox News, you're not going to prosecute her.
Right. And he did so while saying, I'm not. What is that? No, what is that? Not paralepsis. That's where you say one thing, but it's clear you mean the exact opposite. I can't think what they call it.
I don't know.
You're the editor. You should know that.
Yeah, he says, I do not talk to the Attorney General about pending investigations. I do not talk to FBI directors about pending investigations.
And anybody can look at the public evidence, not stuff that, conservatives are making up. Stuff she says.
Right.
And the stuff that they presented in the hearings, which you can watch on the...
Right. And all the FOIA requests. And
right. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then the other thing is, and I just want to lay this out and then we'll get to Dawn. The other thing is now Social Security wants to do what they've been doing with vets. Social Security agency is proposing to report people who receive disability benefits and have a mental health condition to the FBI for background checks. They started going after vets through the VA. Now they're going after us old folks. This guy is out of control.
This one's a little bit more narrowly defined, but Senator Grassley is pitching a fit.
He is not a happy camper.
Yeah, he's saying that it doesn't require them to prove anything. Although they are saying they're going to. Unlike the VA, they're going to put out, okay, this is how you appeal it.
Like Illinois in the concealed carry thing.
Right, exactly.
What could go wrong with that?
Who had to be publicly shamed by the Chicago Tribune in order to do the right thing.
All right, Dawn, I know you've been hanging on. How are you doing this evening?
Good. How are you folks?
I am just ducky. So I see that I don't know who Cadet Ward is.
Well, I'm Patriot Dawn of Northern Illinois, and Jeanette Ward had called in to Stephanie Trussell's show a short time ago and very, very courageously stood up, spoke out, and asked for help regarding her situation on the Elgin School Board about the way the kids are being indoctrinated. Former FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover wrote two very, very excellent books for the public to explain how the left was infiltrating education, churches, labor unions, etc. I strongly encourage anybody who wants to educate others to read those books. He also wrote some very good pamphlets on how youth were being targeted, and it all rolled out exactly the way he said.
Well, somebody
I
famous.
I strongly encourage everybody to get their hands on that. You can check out those books from public libraries, etc., and read up and share them, spread them around.
Somebody famous once said, if you change the children, you change the future. I don't offhand recall who that was, but somebody did say that, and it is completely true. And this goes back to, we talked about it on the break here, but this goes back to no school should have ever accepted one dime of federal money.
Yeah.
You either pay for your kids to go to school or,
And a lot of people feel that the Department of Education is completely unconstitutional. It should be disbanded. It doesn't really make any sense to me that through our our income taxes, we send money to the federal government, and then they send it back to the states
if they feel like
for education. It
Right.
doesn't make any sense. It's a lot of bureaucracy. It wastes a lot of money, and the money should just be collected by the states for state education.
Exactly. There's certain things that the federal government is useful for. You shouldn't be able to commit murder in Illinois, cross the Indiana border, and get away with it.
Sure.
Okay. So I don't
And
begrudge
we need
that.
them to build interstates, and
Right.
we need them to defend the borders.
But
And
this
that
is
sort of thing.
it is so far out of control. It is so the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. They don't do anything. We've thrown billions of dollars and what? Nothing. I mean, it's they just build these things, and you can't kill them.
Yeah.
They just keep sucking up money.
Actually, that's not true. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission regularly helps companies that own nuclear plants buy more time before they have to fulfill regulations.
Oh, fantastic.
You know, knowing people who've worked in the nukes, if you don't let them overheat, they're going to be good. They're good.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. I don't know.
I did find this one quote, and I actually saw the video recently, but it struck me as particularly relevant. Someone asked Hillary Clinton, "My accomplishments as Secretary of State?" Well, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
My proudest accomplishment, in which I take the most pride, mostly because of the opposition it faced early on, the remnants of prior situations and mindsets that were too narrowly focused in a manner whereby they may have overlooked the bigger picture. And we didn't do that, and I'm proud of that. I'm very proud. I would say that's a major accomplishment.
Clearly presidential material. What exactly did she say? What?
Nothing. There was no content there. There was literally no content.
It's, I don't know. I love watching her on television in the congressional hearing.
I kind of like watching her flail.
Yeah.
Like when she gives speeches and things.
And when she wiped the
Right.
surgery.
You mean like with the cloth?
All right. It's been a good show. We're going to come back and we're going to wrap it all up. But we'll do Gretchen's action items, and we'll probably have some comment or two that I'll get beeped for. I don't know. But anyway, all that and more when we come back with our final segment. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
If you're looking for a better shooting experience, imagine shooting virtually
Found the secret to Gretchen's favorite type of show: sadism.
Ah, yes. I'm going to do more editorials with golden retrievers. Apparently it works. How long you got?
A couple minutes.
Okay.
Just like one page. Yeah, so Larry private messaged in, and he put up a picture of Caitlyn Jenner, and there's a pit bull sitting next to her, and the dog says, "I'm confused. I keep smelling balls." And he said, "Okay, since you said free ballers, this shouldn't offend you." And I said, "I'm not easily offended."
Yeah. All right.
He's just way too tall to be a woman.
Yeah, he doesn't look good as a woman.
No.
They're going to do... He won Woman of the Year.
From a couple things.
I know. How bizarre is
From
that?
like ESPN, and I think also like some women's magazines.
That's beyond bizarre.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, I was seeing some stuff about, I think it was like Cosmopolitan or something named him Woman of the Year.
Yeah.
And it was like, a lot of people were complaining, like, the minimum requirement for being Woman of the Year is to actually be a woman.
What a novel concept.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole
not anymore.
The whole concept of Woman of the Year is that you face some hardship of some kind because you're a woman and you had to overcome it. Yeah. And so if you only just became a woman became a woman 6 months ago, how does that qualify you?
And you haven't.
Right. You're not actually a woman.
If you did that, that would be overcoming something hard.
Well,
okay?
but even that.
You missed it. Be overcoming something hard.
Okay.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. The entire board is lit up. I'm not sure.
Every phone line is locked up for some reason.
Yeah. They're all lit up. That's amazing. We should be lit up, but we will be after the show, and that's fine. Been an interesting show.
Very.
Yeah. Apparently, diatribes about golden retrievers get phone calls. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Or adults in the bathroom with children they shouldn't be in the bathroom with. I think that's really what got people stoked.
I want to be known as Loretta.
Loretta the golden
Stand
retriever.
by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
From the Illinois State Rifle Association, H.R. 1136, the Rail Freight Firearm Law, is a bad bill that is being considered by the Illinois House right now. H.R. 1136 demands that Congress ban or severely restrict firearm shipments by rail. The effect of such a transportation ban would significantly increase the retail price of firearms. In other words, it's another way to make free exercise of the Second Amendment too expensive for the average citizen. Please call your state representative and let him or her know that you want them to oppose H.R. 1136. You are also encouraged to call Representative LaShawn Ford's office and politely tell the person who answers the phone that you are a law-abiding gun owner and you do not appreciate Representative Ford's attack on your Second Amendment rights. I put this on Facebook earlier today with a link to help you find your representative, and his phone number is on Facebook too. The following Safer USA classes are at our facility in Waterman, Saturday and Sunday, May 14th and 15th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry, as well as Florida, Arizona, and Utah. Saturday, May 14th, Introduction to Shotgun Shooting, taught by Pat and Nancy Donaldson. Sunday, May 15th, Know Your AR Platform Rifle 1 and 2, taught by Eric. Sunday, May 22nd, Long Range Rifle, taught by Ed Janka. Saturday, May 28th, Tactical Pistol 1 and 2, taught by David. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
So we're not doing segment 6 tonight, and it's totally my fault because tomorrow and Tuesday I'm taking a 2-day combat-focused shooting course out at the ISRA range. And I got to get up early. I'm meeting Grow Herring. Lee Grow Herring and I are going to have breakfast. And I think the purpose of us getting together, he didn't say this, but I think the purpose of us getting together first is to exchange cardiologists, okay? Because we're going to be out like rolling in mud. It's going to rain, so it's going to...
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be the high point.
Your favorite.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Your favorite. I've never met anyone who hates rain as much as you do.
Yeah, 1 year in Vietnam, took care of it.
Yeah.
We're done with rain. So that's coming for 2 days. Anyway, so I got to be up early, and so we're not going to do segment 6. So anyway, it is what it is. But it's been a good show.
Yeah, I know that you rate a show based on how many phone calls we get. So in that rating system, it's like a 10.
I rate it on the quality, the how much it moves me, how much my inner feminine part feels. Okay, fine, forget it. I'm not, and
what has been heard can never be unheard.
That's true. There's a lot of truth to that. Hoffman just posted something on my timeline on Facebook. That scares me.
That can only be bad.
Yeah, you never know what to expect when he does that. That's frightening. Anyway, it is what it is. And next week we have absolutely no idea what we're going to do, which is true every week.
Once again.
That's once again. But we'll somehow pull it out. We got to find something this good.
Yeah.
We're always open to suggestions, by the way, if you have suggestions. And, they're not cursing. Because we've gotten a few of those.
I have an idea. I'll give you after.
Okay.
After this.
Anyway, we'd like to thank you for listening to On Target Radio, and be sure to listen next week when Gretchen and I will be discussing more red meat issues that affect your life.
We'd also like to thank George Hoffman on the board, Jim Ekstrand, our video engineer, and our sponsors, the Will County Grassroots Division of the ISRA, Schrank Smoke and Gun, the Illinois State Rifle Association, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, and Safer USA.
And as always, I want to thank Michael for making all this craziness happen.